It's been quite a minute since last I was able to make a YouTube video. Lots of things. Sick kids, moving house. As you can see, I've got a new space behind me, which I still have not quite set up. I've just moved in. But nothing quite brings you out of YouTube no man's land like something as exciting as the Superman trailer. We had a trailer for the trailer, teaser for the teaser. Craziest thing. We live in a crazy world. But it came out yesterday, which looked really interesting, but wasn't really substantial. Not for me, not really worth making a video about that at this point. But definitely this trailer, I've been kind of keeping off of social media all day long just so I can watch this and react to this. And I finally got a chance. The kids are napping, so I'm good. Let's set some expectations up for exactly why this trailer is so important. If you've been following the trajectory of particularly the DC movies as of late, they have not gone well. They've gone terribly, in fact. The audience has completely given up on DC films. It's just been flop after flop after flop, and sometimes undeservedly so. There has been some movies which I've seen come out. Blue Beetle was pretty awesome. The Flash I thought was quite a fun time. Some have been not so good, but in comparison to potentially other superhero movies that have come out that have, I'd say, been the same level, but have made drastically different amounts of money at the box office. It was so bad. They literally have now restarted the DC universe. It's now called the DCU, and we've got Creature Commandos, which is the animated first thing that has come out. But as far as the live action world is concerned, Superman, this trailer is our first view of this world, of this character, the tone, the heroes, everything in this film is going to be viewed in this short window of the trailer while we wait for the movie to come out. The success of the DC films following this, the great grand plans they have, as lots of previous studios have done, wanting to make a cinematic universe, it's not as easy as Marvel made it look when they brought out that first Iron Man. And that first Iron Man was the reason why, a major reason why, the Marvel Cinematic Universe became what it became. People fell in love with Tony Stark, with Robert Downey Jr., and that launched things off extremely well. What we need for the DC Universe is something similar. Something that will help us fall in love with a character, that will make us want to see more and be immersed more. If this first movie sucks, I don't know. I don't know what the trajectory of these new DCU films will be. Because the audience, most of the audience that doesn't follow this general kind of news, they just think, oh, they've recast Superman in the old DC universe, the DCEU. They won't necessarily know that this is a new, fresh start. It's a new world. It's a new take. And so if there's good word of mouth, if there's a good amount of people chatting about this film, then it's got capacity to do extremely well. I don't think necessarily at the box office it's going to make $1 billion, but if it's a really good film, people will build trust in that brand and they'll believe and want to see more of it. And then when the next one comes around, well, then we can see what will happen from there. If this movie isn't good, it'll be disastrous. And as someone who loves Batman more than anything else, but also just loves DC characters so much, I desperately want this to be good. And so eagerly awaiting the grand presentation of James Gunn. Of course, there's a teaser. It's 2 minutes and something, so I don't know how much of a teaser as opposed to just a trailer it is, but it has to be good. Fingers crossed. He's done it. I mean, he hasn't done too many duds, but hopefully this is a good one. So I had to put that out there. That's the expectations. It has to be great. It has to be great. It can't be average. It has to be great. No pressure. No pressure. Let's give it a watch. Oh. Oh my gosh. Superman's been wrecked. That is definitely unidentifiable as Clark Kent. You would never know that that's Clark Kent. That's Superman. Knows how to grab your attention. Lois. Oh, Kent Farms. Oh, his dad is definitely not the GQ model of the movies before. Arrakis.
Crypto.
It's the doggy.
Home. Take me home.
Oh, whoa.
Superman.
Whoa. I genuinely think that looks amazing. That looks amazing. I'm going to take a minute to actually watch that again and then get some notes, because there's so much in my brain that I'm thinking about after watching that. It looks amazing. I'm very excited for this film because I'm actually very, very excited. Okay, give me a second. I don't know how like some YouTubers just like react and don't pause, and like I've tried to pause in the past, and I just feel like it breaks the momentum of the trailer a little bit when you're watching it the first time. It's also not as enjoyable for me to just like pause the whole time, but I want to kind of watch this through and then just like identify some of the things that I think look so cool. First of all, the way that they introduce Superman, the biggest challenge with the character of Superman is that he is very difficult to relate to in some ways, because he is indestructible. He's completely like he can never be really defeated. There's never really a sense of true danger. And I mean, they killed him off 20 times in the movies. One of the great things about starting this trailer is, why would I want to see a Superman film? Why would I want to see what would make this telling of Superman interesting? And they start off with, there's something powerful enough to defeat Superman that he has to get his adorable dog to come in and save him. That is fantastic. Some people believe that his hair is a wig. I strongly disagree. For any of you who have curly hair, you know if it's long enough, you get a bit of humidity and you put anything in it, it like curls like nothing. And yeah, it's, I think legitimately is 100% his hair. I love how this crypto dog comes running in. He is so epic. And I feel like I wish I could call a dog. I want a dog. This makes me want to get a dog. And I have my dog running down the street, thundering. That would just be a nightmare for the neighbors, but really cool for me. What on earth is Superman fighting here, there's some giant kaiju thing, which is going to be epic. And that gives us a bit of a hint as well into this world that Superman lives in. It's as we know from kind of the set photos, their superheroes exist already. Superman lives in a world where there are superheroes everywhere, and it's established that way, which is different. It is different from what we know. It's not building from the ground roots. We know the story of Superman. We don't need to see it like his origin story 1,000 times. We know what happens, but there's clearly like kind of reminds me a little bit of like One Punch Man, where there's like a different creature popping up every other week. It's a different world. It's a fantastical world. That's awesome. That's wonderful. It's wonderful to have something that is a fantastical world and not just so grounded that you can't really be immersed in the grand mythical feeling of these stories and these characters. These snapshots, these scenes, these moments, little boy putting up this homemade flag of Superman and that symbol of that. That's like where I felt the most emotional in this trailer. I actually felt something there because every little boy has been there, at least imagining that they could be something more, and that little boy believing that something can come and save him and save his people. It's so beautiful and resonates with me in like a really deep way. And I love that bit there. Of course, there's some angry dude chucking a cup at him. Get out of here, you filthy trash man. Guy Gardner. That haircut, horrendous. Beautifully horrendous. I love it that Nathan Fillion is wearing that. That is a wig, by the way. And yuck. Yeah, look. What this does for me, this trailer, what this trailer does for me, it creates a hope in the future of DC films. The Superman feels like the closest comic book feeling, hopeful, bright Superman that I have seen. And the movie might be terrible. It might be terrible. But this gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a lot of hope. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait for this film to come out. I'm very, very relieved that this is something that looks like it's got potential and emotion and heart and feeling. And it is one thing I cannot fault. It's James Gunn's narrative storytelling. He always creates emotional kicks. And I think that if he loves comic books as well, and if he knows this character, if anyone knows this character well, it's James Gunn. And he's done the job of saying, well, I'm the head of DC. I am now the head of the narrative side of things. And I'm going to put my head on the chopping block and be the first one to put the film out there that's going to set the tone for this whole thing. And I think that's pretty courageous. And I hope it works out. I hope it's great. We need a revival of really good comic book films that have a new, fresh feeling, and this feels like it could be that. So what did you guys think? Did you like this trailer? Do you hate the fact that it's not Henry Cavill, and do you wish desperately that he would pop up as a cameo in an Elseworld story? Please no. I love Henry Cavill. I love those Superman films, but I'm ready to move on. I'm happy to move on. And I think it's got potential. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Have a fantastic, wonderful weekend. And if I don't talk to you again until next year, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.